Let's take something unrelated to those two things. David in Texas. You're on with Jamie, and oh my gosh, he's still here, even though he's been subjected to lesser calls. Andrew Seidel. How are you doing today?
Hey there.
Hi, David.
Hey, David.
Doing pretty good.
That's good. It says here that your question is whether it's possible to believe in an afterlife without believing in God.
I'm specifically referring to like the Christian actualizing the Christian God.
I believe that it is possible.
Yeah, it's
because
possible.
I think that that's a belief that people can hold.
I think a lot of people probably do hold it here.
Yeah, in the same way that it's possible to believe in supernatural things and to believe that you can cast spells without a god.
Mm-hmm. So between the both of you, which one of you grew up in the church?
Not me.
I did. I grew up in.
Okay.
I mean, attending a church.
I grew up in a secular household.
I don't know why I needed to be that specific.
Yeah.
My mind went, I didn't literally grow up in the church building. I should specify that. There's no reason. No one thinks that. Yes, I grew up in the church.
All right, and then real quick, that last call was wild.
I agree with you.
The craziest thing though was probably you said that Avatar was an anime, which is not.
No, I think he was asking about anime.
It's not an anime. It's just it has a style. You are correct. I don't actually know the definition of anime, though I'm familiar with the fact that Avatar is not that. It's just a really good show.
Yeah.
True.
I actually thought he meant he was like the little...
And the craziest thing might be that I also liked Legend of Korra, though I haven't seen it all the way through. So
I don't know what that is.
It's a good show.
It's the Avatar.
It follows up in the same universe.
Okay. I thought they were making a second one. Avatar, apparently.
For a split second, I thought you meant that M. Night Shyamalan was making a sequel to his film butchering of the show. And I was like, why? How did he get money for that? By selling other shows where he says he's important enough to influence the president. So you have asked about whether or not it's possible to believe in a heaven and a hell without believing in God. So there are descriptions of heaven being people praising God eternally, and hell, people being damned and tortured for not believing in God. And in part, in heaven, people looking down on the people in hell and enjoying themselves. So in that sense, if those are your definitions of hell, they revolve around the existence of the Christian God. What is it that you believe about heaven and hell?
I'm not 100% sure whether... I mean, obviously, I'm not 100% sure about anything, really.
That's a good start.
Whether or not there's... Yeah. Whether or not there's the existence of the God, the Christian God, I guess the more important thing to start off with is the belief. And I think more atheists who grew up in the Christian church, once they start realizing that maybe they're not believing in this God because there's no evidence for the God, it's like kind of like goes into steps, because then the fear starts to set in. Because Jamie, I'm not sure if you were ever like, even if you grew up in the church, were you ever like really a believer? You know.
There was a period of time where I was very much so. There's a period of time, it wasn't the church that I grew up in. Well, there was a period of time where I was very much a believer.
Are you kind of thinking that people, they become atheists out of fear or out of some traumatic event? Is that where you're going with this?
No. I'm saying that they stay being religious.
Oh, they stay. Yeah.
Because of a fear of heaven. Yeah, I think that's certainly true for anything. And there are people that continue to believe because they've lost loved ones and they've gone through the grieving process using the idea of heaven. And then a year later or years later, they call this show, and I have the dilemma of, wow, affecting this person's belief will send them back to go through the grieving process again. And that's something I don't want for anyone, which actually happened the episode that I guess appeared on the Atheist Experience with Manda. So it's a good call that demonstrates this principle. But do you believe in an afterlife?
I do. I believe in heaven and hell. I'm not one entirely... I guess you can say I'm an atheist in regards to a God, because I'm not... I guess by the definition is that like you're convinced that there's a God, but I'm not entirely convinced there's a God.
So you believe in an afterlife, and you believe there's a place of punishment for people who do bad and a place of reward for people who do good.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask, why do you believe that?
Because like that's where so my grandfather is a pastor, my dad's a pastor, my uncles are pastors.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, right. And I like got baptized in the church when I was like 13, and I was going to Bible school and everything, and all that good stuff. And there's certain
good stuff. Yeah.
There's certain beliefs that are always going to be ingrained into you that I don't know. So you can ever change them.
What you're describing is indoctrination, and it is a difficult thing to overcome. And what I'm hearing is that what I would guess from where this conversation has gone so far is that you're struggling with these beliefs, but they persist because of indoctrination. And your last statement, referring to and that they're always going to be there and they can't change. I disagree with strongly, and based largely on evidence. One, there are people who have been indoctrinated, who have deconverted. Additionally, there are people that have entered cults for decades and been deprogrammed, as the language is. It is possible for your mind to be changed.
And David, one of my boss, Dan Barker at the Freedom from Religion Foundation, was in
humble brag.
He's a minister. I mean, he was traveling around Mexico, converting people to his particular brand of evangelical Christianity, and he is now a leader in the atheist movement. And it's only because he changed his mind. Jerry DeWitt, another Pentecostal preacher who became an atheist. There's actually, this is really well documented. There's a book called Caught in the Pulpit that tells the stories of preachers and nuns who have become atheists. And these are people who were not just indoctrinated, but their entire livelihood, their life, their entire family is tied up in maintaining this belief. So there's so much pressure to maintain it from every single direction. And still they're able to shake it off, because really all it comes down to is changing your mind. And I'm so impressed.
At that point, wouldn't it just be better just to take the blue pill?
I understand entirely what you mean, but the reason that I brought this up is to say it's probably going to come across as condescending. It's not intended that way, but there is hope for you, and you can escape. It probably feels better. And what Andrew was just describing is people who have every external motivation on their mind and their decision-making process and their thinking, every external motivation to continue to believe, and yet there is a spark of reason in them that causes them to doubt and to question and to change their mind. And I see that in you, and I would encourage you not to run from that light.
And it definitely can be hard.
It is.
But the people who do it, the constant word that I hear used to describe it is freeing.
Yeah.
And it's constant. I would say at least 90% of the people who have done that.
I certainly describe it that way.
I agree with that.
You disagree with what?
Like that atheism can be freeing, because think about it this way: like the more religious people who sincerely believe they have a personal relationship with God, once they start losing that belief, it's like almost like losing a friend, because it's just no longer there. They found so much comfort in that belief, and it's no longer there. It's like you're losing a friend.
Yes, it is true, and it's hard. What we're talking about is not the process of leaving. What we're talking about is the process of being free of that. There's an excellent meme, a phrase that I probably shouldn't say on this show to reference things, but there's an excellent meme that's a drawing of a hand grasping firmly to a rope that's wrapped around it unbelievably tightly and pulling on it, to the point where it's pulling into the skin and leaving a mark, and not just bruising the skin, but leaving an imprint. And it talks about how it is difficult and painful to let something go that you feel like is grounding you, and that you feel like is provides you the ability to feel good and not alone, and that it hurts. But after you're done and that rope is gone, your hand can heal. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. In the same way that a person who's in an emotional or physically abusive relationship or a marriage will often blame themselves for doubting or not wanting to be in it, and will feel like this is, all that they deserve, or this is where they belong, or, they have this emotional attachment to the relationship and to the abusive element in it. And it's very, 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 very difficult for them to get out of it. But when they do, then they're out of the relationship. And that is a very, very different feeling than the process of leaving it. And this process is very difficult and very painful, and we're here for you.
That's always nice to hear.
Sorry?
Say that again?
That's always nice to hear.
It always makes me feel like a good person to say.
And I mean, there is a big community waiting here to welcome you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I've been watching you guys on the Atheist Experience for past year now.
Oh, that's good. Like and subscribe. But
I would encourage you to just keep asking questions, and it is hard, but
and I feel like this is the conversation for today has probably run largely its course, but I'm hesitating now to move on because I don't want this to be the last time we talk.
Will you promise to call back with another question?
Yeah. Or email?
Yeah, I always have questions. I always like asking questions. I like being proven wrong.
That's good. Yeah.
What a great outlook. I love that.
Yeah. certainly better than mine. And as a Ute. I thank you for calling in, David. I mean it. You better y'all come back now. You hear? But I think we're gonna move to the next call, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, David, and I hope that this first chat helped.